My goal with this video is to leave you feeling confident and excited about learning a new language. Because here's a scenario that used to happen to me back when I was learning English, German, Spanish, even Japanese. I would start by getting classes, like how it usually goes. Starting with a textbook, doing grammar drills, 1 hour of classes couple times a week. Then every couple weeks you'd have an exam, you're supposed to translate a couple words, conjugate a couple verbs, maybe write an essay. Maybe you pass it, maybe you don't, but no matter the outcome of that exam, you still don't feel confident about actually speaking. For some reason you still feel stressed when a teacher asks you a question you're supposed to respond in front of the whole class. For some reason you don't feel that confident if I would put you here on the spot and you're supposed to interact with a native speaker in Spain, Japan, in Madrid, Tokyo or Berlin. Maybe it's a fact that it happened that you actually froze, you couldn't find the words, you just feel stressed, and even when you did find some words, it just came out in this weird kind of monotonous way that you freeze after every sentence, after every couple words. You just sound like a robot. The problem isn't that you're bad at language learning. Even if you failed all of your classes, that means nothing, right? Even if you did something like me, go into a bilingual school to learn Spanish, I did like this language predisposition ability assessment test. I did pretty well on it, but it doesn't mean that somebody who did bad on it is bad at language learning, because it's not that anybody in the whole world is bad at learning a new language, it's that nobody teaches them how to learn correctly. Only about 13 years of learning languages, I figured out how to do it so that I actually learn the new language. And of course, maybe it happened for you if English is not your native language. You're watching this video right now and you understand everything perfectly. That's also how it happened for me, but I didn't realize what was happening. English just spawned in your head for some reason, right? With every other language, I pretty much had to figure it out on myself, how to teach myself it, so that I speak at the level that I do right now. There isn't nobody really at school or at paid classes, language courses teaches you that. It's because they benefit if you keep on learning, right? You pay a monthly fee, maybe $100, $200 to learn any language. You have an intensive course, you study grammar, it's grueling kind of workouts for your brain, and yeah, right, you progress at a quicker rate that you would otherwise, but you still, for some reason, it just feels weird. You keep on going, you go to these classes for 1, 2, 3 years, and you still cannot really speak that well. You're definitely nowhere near fluency. You're not a beginner, but you're not like a perfect speaker, you don't sound like a native. I've been through it, it's not a very nice experience, and that's why I want to save as many people as possible from wasting their time, wasting their lives learning languages ineffectively. So I made this little program, it's called Language IQ, is the first link in the description, and here I just take you step by step, kind of walk you by hand through the entire process of learning a new language. I give you tons of personal help, I made a personalized game plan for you, so that you know what to do on every single step of the way, and it's not some boring shit like a curriculum, like a textbook. It's stuff that's personalized up to you so that you're actually having a lot of fun whilst learning. And the crazy thing is that it's not even a subscription model, it costs as much as like one language class and you get it for life. That's how confident I am in it, so that you don't need to keep on paying as you learn, because you get the information once, you get my guidance, and then you're good to go forever. Right, but how to actually go about learning a new language effectively? The thing that schools, online classes, courses teach you wrong is that they take the language, they teach you about the language, and then grade you, making a school subject out of it. In my opinion, everything you do in life should feel like cheating, should feel like you have this unreal advantage that really makes you level up faster and better than other people. And at school you get punished for cheating. Cheating is like you hide a little note and hide it in your sleeve and you cheat on a test, right? But cheating in real life is more like just finding a method that hasn't been manipulated to make you slow down. Like you can think about the modern world, how like social media, how Mark Zuckerberg, how the food companies kind of try to manipulate your choices, try to poison you, so that you live a worse life. Like social media steal your attention. Shit food from like processed food companies make you feel worse and addicted to their food, so you keep on buying. Most of the kind of fields of real life right now are manipulated by a couple big companies or by a couple of just strange beliefs that have been passed on for ages that aren't even effective. And it's also the case for language learning. You know what's interesting? The way that you learn a language right now at school has been taken from Latin classes from a couple hundred years ago, and how the Latin classes looked is they take a language that isn't even spoken anywhere. There's just a couple of ancient texts and marital kind of philosophical vocabulary written in Latin. So the classes look like you just translate the text, you find the best translation for a couple sentences or some literature, but you definitely do not speak it and you definitely do not hear somebody speaking it to you. It's all in written form. So it wasn't even treated like a language. It was just treated as this weird school subject, like some piece of work that you have to get done with. Is that what you really want to do with your target language? Or do you want to speak? Or do you want to be able to listen to what the other person is saying and respond back to them? Like real life social interaction, like making friends. If the second option feels more like your goal, then wouldn't it make sense to maybe practice that instead of translation and conjugating verbs? Like I can tell you, I've been in Japan, I haven't studied grammar at all, and I haven't even thought about if I sound correct grammar-wise or not. All I did was I listened to what other people were saying, by watching YouTube videos, by watching anime, like movies, and then I practiced all of that by speaking to other people. And somehow nobody looked at me weird, like, oh, you fucking asshole, why does your grammar sound weird? Because first of all, it didn't, and even if it did, nobody cares about it. Native speakers mess up grammar and use weird vocabulary all the time because they're just careless. Nobody's grading them, it's just a little bit of a laugh, like, it's all about conveying a message. So while, yes, conjugating verbs and using correct grammar forms is important, you shouldn't really do it by focusing on that thing. We all forget how we learned our native language as a baby. And the crazy thing is, our brain doesn't dispose of the ability to learn a new language, and so everybody is great at language learning. It's a natural human ability. It's not about memorization, it's not about learning how to conjugate. Like nobody showed a toddler a little conjugation table with all the different verb forms. He somehow understood all of it from real life speech. And that's what you should also do in your target language. You should also hear, and your brain, as it is kind of created to learn language, to acquire language, it will automatically figure everything out. So now we've figured out that your grades at school doesn't mean you're bad at language learning. Not learning grammar doesn't mean you'll speak incorrectly. And bad memory doesn't mean that your language ability will be worse. Think about it. It's kind of like throwing a basketball. You don't focus on remembering everything. You don't focus on placing your upper hand like this, on spreading your kind of fingers, having your elbow straight and really doing the movement. You don't kind of memorize all of it. You just do the thing and at some moment it clicks and you do it without even thinking about it. It's not like active recall. So while speaking a language, it shouldn't be this difficult thing on your brain that you're trying to recall everything from your online class or from your school. It should be more like automatic for you. And how that happens is when you've done the thing, or at least you've kind of seen the behavior done a dozen, 1,000 times. When you hear somebody say something in Japanese or Chinese 100, 1,000 times and you understand it, you will naturally be able to reproduce it. Babies hear their parents speak and use certain vocabulary over and over again, like, alright, finish the meal, alright, don't go outside, or finish playing, clean up your room. Like, it's scenarios that happen every single day for a toddler, and naturally, hearing over and over again the same thing, they figure out, alright, my parents are mad because there's mess on the floor, they tell me, go and clean the room. Then you kind of put everything at place, or clean the floor, and then they're happy. So, alright. So fluency happens gradually. It happens as you kind of understand and hear it over and over again, different domains of language. So it may be real life speech. You hear it over and over again as a kid. You hear about it from your parents and playing outside with your friends. You've mastered, you're fluent in that domain. There's no problem for you understanding any of the expressions. Maybe then you go to school, you learn about history, you learn about maths, you learn about kind of literature, and then it's in the same language. You didn't know the words before, but you just learn about that domain and you understand everything perfectly. The biggest thing is like TV and watching stuff online. It kind of gives you the access to all different sorts of fields of knowledge, of vocabulary domains. And children's nowadays spending a lot of time in front of the TV pick up on the things they watch online, on YouTube, on their phones. TikTok, sadly, it's not a good thing that young kids are on TikTok, but they definitely do learn a lot of vocabulary and words that even their parents don't understand. Thus, there's like Gen Alpha speech. So when you learn vocabulary, you learn grammar by hearing a sentence being said over and over again. You hear the grammatical construction in different scenarios. You eventually kind of memorize it, kind of acquire it. But immersion, which is just listening to your target language, is the glue that holds everything together. So whilst learning vocabulary is helpful, whilst knowing at least basics of grammar will help you understand the language in the beginning levels, this is what you already knew. You did it at school, you did the conjugating verbs into past and future tense, but you weren't fluent. Why is that? It's because you didn't really have contact with the target language. You maybe had this scenario, like you see a sentence, you know every single word that appears in it, you know what grammar is used, you know that the verb is in this subjunctive kind of mode, is in the future tense or something like that, but you still don't know what the sentence really means. The reason for that is because you haven't immersed enough. It's kind of just surrounding yourself and hearing the language and words being used in different scenarios over and over again that kind of fills in the gaps of like a broken wall of your vocabulary and grammar. And if you could only do one thing, if you could ditch vocabulary, you could ditch grammar, you could ditch reading, writing even, knowing the alphabet, and you could only do one single thing to learn a foreign language, that one thing should be immersion, should be listening. By listening, you will naturally be able to speak, and that's what a language is all about. So when you break it down like that, it's like, alright, just listen, like you already know what to do. And that was my goal for this video, to show you that you don't need some crazy ability to learn a new language. Like a lot of people told me, oh, like I admire your kind of skill for language learning. You're so lucky to be able to do it like that, to learn Japanese like that. And I'm just thinking like, right, it is pleasing, it's a compliment, but it's not like I'm special or something. It's not like I have something that others don't. That person was speaking to me in language, therefore they have learned a language somehow, and it's just a matter of repeating that process the same as they did for the language that they know perfectly. And most of the time it was from extensive listening. If you want me to kind of personally help you go through all of these things, guide you, coach you, and show you all the different tactics and methods that nobody speaks about, again, the first in the description is my language IQ program where I teach that to you for a really fair price. Thank you for watching and see ya.